Hi LEGO and Marvel superhero fans, today we've got this unofficial LEGO minifigure set. Plus this epic Hulkbuster Iron Patriot, with none other than James Rhodes sitting inside. This Hulkbuster, along with the James Rhodes minifigure, will be our benchmark for today's video. In previous builds, this very Hulkbuster turned out to be one of the best, so it'll be especially exciting to compare it with our new figures. Figures that could be just as cool, if not even more epic. These aren't just standard LEGO-style minifigures. They come with very unusual costumes that make them look bigger, bulkier, and way more powerful. Let's start the build with the Black Iron Man, which looks a lot like a War Machine suit, completely black and steel-colored. First, let's take a look at the torso of this minifigure. Right away, it's obvious there's no print on the back. That's a big minus. But on the front side, we get an excellent, sharp, high-quality print that really shines. The legs also have great detailed printing, including on the boots, which is a nice touch. The minifigure also comes with these powerful arm guards that immediately make the arms look more massive. And there's this kind of cuirass armor for the chest and the back. Oh, how I wish there was some kind of print here on the back. But from the front, it looks seriously cool. Now about the head, we can see right away that this isn't the usual LEGO minifigure head. This head is clearly designed to remind us of the Hulkbuster look, and that's exactly why today we'll be comparing everything with Hulkbusters and referring back to them. The minifigure already looks super massive. Now let me show you on camera some of our other minifigures that looked massive too. For example, here's Deadpool and Wolverine, but what those figures didn't have are these awesome shoes that clip on like this. Let me show it from the other side so you can see it more clearly. And this is what we get, a minifigure that looks like a real giant. It looks absolutely epic and muscular. This is not the refined Iron Man. This is a real machine. Well, it is War Machine after all. Also included in the set is a shield. And we've also got a blaster here that can actually be fired from the hand. Overall, at first glance, this figure looks fantastically cool. But let's wait for the full review. I'll play around with it a little bit, and at the end, I'll do some comparisons and give it a final rating. In the meantime, let's move on to the classic red Iron Man, or Hulkbuster. Unfortunately, the back once again isn't painted, but the rest of the figure, the torso, and the legs has excellent printing. You can probably see that on the camera. However, what did we notice here? Right away, look closely. The right arm wobbles. It's not secured properly in the socket. So what do? Actually, this is easy to fix. Of course, it's an annoying issue, but unfortunately with Chinese sets, this kind of thing sometimes happens. Luckily, we can fix it pretty easily. These little parts just need to be spread apart a bit wider. You can ask your parents for help, and with a knife or a screwdriver, they can gently widen the connector. The armor on the back and shoulders is just like War Machine's, massive, powerful, and impressively muscular. We follow the same steps as with the previous figure for the arms and legs, assembling everything together. And just like that, our big minifigure is ready. Let's add a shield to complete the look, and then move on to building the blue figure, which is very similar to our Iron Patriot. This one also has no print on the back. The construction is absolutely identical. Structurally, all these figures are similar. However, the painting, well, right here we can immediately see that on the blue one, the paint on the legs is poorly applied. The rest of the print is fantastic. But the gold paint on the leg has smudged. The other figures didn't have this problem. Why that happened, I don't know. And now let's quickly build the Grey Hulkbuster. This figure goes together beautifully. Nothing is loose. The only issue we had was with the red Iron Man, but we handled that just fine. Here's the figure we got. I really like the colors of the plastic and the prints. And now let's build our benchmark. First of all, we can see that here we've got a back print. Sure, maybe the chest print isn't as interesting as the front one. That's a matter of taste. But the arms do have prints, and they're really nice, with a metallic effect. The shoulder and back armor also come with pretty good printing. Maybe it's not as exciting, and the figure itself doesn't look quite as massive as the previous Hulkbusters. And again, we've got the classic helmet for the head. In that sense, there's nothing particularly new here. although I always count it as a big plus when these kinds of helmets have a visor that actually opens. We used to have Iron Man minifigures where the helmet didn't open at all. I get that it might not be such an important detail for playing, but personally I love it when the visor does open. Just for fun, let's see how our new figure can swap parts with this Iron Patriot. Let's have them trade armor. Let's see how that looks and whether it works together. The color is a little different, but as you can see, the new armor is bulkier, more muscular on top, though it doesn't cover the stomach. Meanwhile, Iron Patriot's armor does cover the stomach. Overall, they go together just fine. You can easily swap details and clothing elements between the figures. But let's put everything back the way it was originally intended by the designers and finish building the blue Hulkbuster. Back when I reviewed this set before, I was already impressed with the colors, the paint, and the prints. Look at how it shines, absolutely gorgeous. By the way, could our new figure fit inside here? Nope, turns out it doesn't. Those arms are just too big, too bulky, too muscular. Oh well, not a big deal. One of the downsides of this set, when I reviewed it for the first time, was that the weapon pieces were way too loose and fell off super easily. Today I'll put them back in place, but I'm going to shorten the guns a little. They kept falling off too easily during the review, and honestly, I didn't like that very much. Alright, let's take a closer look at what we've got, see how everything turned out, and give the final rating. I'll start with what I didn't like about these figures. The first and biggest downside showed up with just one minifigure, the red Hulkbuster. Its arm was wobbly. Even after I fixed it, there's still a little bit of looseness and I wish it could be tightened more. Overall, this is a pretty significant drawback and could interfere with play. The good news? None of the other figures have this issue. Every other arm and leg is solid and works perfectly. The second downside is the paint and printed details. On some figures, you can see that the paint on the legs has shifted slightly. Here, it's a little off on this leg as well. On the black figure, it's less noticeable. And on some figures, there are no issues at all. You can spot tiny scratches or somewhere on the silver here. It's not a big deal, especially since the paint and colors on all the minifigures are overall excellent. There's also metallic detailing on various parts, the torso, the legs, and the chest. The faceplate is metallic and shiny too. The blue figure features gold paint, which really sparkles and looks fantastic. These little paint smudges aren't a deal breaker, but I still count them as a minor downside. The third downside I noticed is that the foot panels, the lower leg armor, and boots don't fit very snugly. You can still play with them, so it's not a huge deal, but they do pop off sometimes, which can get a little annoying during play. Interestingly, on the black figure, the boots fit really tightly. The left boot can still come off though, while the right one stays in place. On this other figure, the boot sits a bit looser as well. It's a minor issue, but worth mentioning. And the last downside I want to mention, though honestly I wouldn't really call it a downside, is that structurally it looks a bit awkward. First off, all this armor, the shoulder pads and arm guards, gets in the way when you try to raise the arm fully. The arm bumps right into the armor. Because of that, the shield, which is supposed to fit in the hand, can't sit completely straight. It ends up at a weird angle. So if we want the shield to line up properly, we have to hold it like this, see? Not perfectly flush. Overall, it still looks fine, and for me it's not really a negative. But it's clearly a structural quirk. Also, we all know this little piece. It's used a lot in Lego sets, and it's meant to let you shoot. But here, see, when we insert it like this, it won't fire because the arm guard is in the way. So how is it supposed to work? Let's grab a minifigure from our Hulkbuster. See that small gap? If we press here, the piece shoots out perfectly, just like Iron Man firing from his hand. In this new set, we have 4 of these charges, 2 blue and 2 red, but you won't really be able to use them for play, unless you pair them with other figures or remove the arm guards. Of course, each figure comes with its own shield. If you want to play with them, you'll either need to leave the shield slightly loose in the hand or take off some of the extra armor on top. By the way, let's check out how these figures look without their armor, but with the head still on. I'm sure a lot of people would enjoy playing like this. Here's what the figure looks like. The back and neck might look a little odd at first, but of course, it's meant to be covered by this part of the armor. Overall, for a figure like this, I wish the designers had at least made a simple head. For example, I grabbed a minifigure from this Hulkbuster. That would have been perfect, but the manufacturers didn't include it. Would that be a problem for you? Let me know in the comments. All in all, the figures look amazing. These small oversights slightly affect the impression, but not enough to take away from how cool they are. Now let's talk about the positives and wrap things up. I absolutely love the overall look. They're incredibly cool, powerful, muscular, and tall. They really stand out compared to regular minifigures. Let's place a standard Iron Man minifigure next to them, and you'll immediately see just how much more epic and imposing these armored figures are. From a design perspective, I'm really impressed. Another big plus is the overall quality of the plastic. It's actually quite good. The paint and printed details on the minifigures are excellent too. The only minor issues are with these extra armor panels. But the detailing is fantastic and the paint is shiny and vibrant. And one of the biggest advantages of this set? The price. It only cost me $3, which is insanely cheap and almost makes up for any of the small flaws. Overall, if it weren't for that wobbly arm, I would have rated this set really high for playing. Not just to put on a shelf, but to actually play with. Some figures might have a few loose parts, which could make things a little tricky. But even with that, my overall impression of this set is still very positive. Now look at how much better the paint is on this new set. I gave the big figure a high score before, but its minifigure had a lot of problems with paint and color. In this new set, the colors are excellent, the plastic feels solid, and everything is painted really well. It's just that wobbly arm that makes me lower the final rating a bit. It's a shame, but I'd probably give it maybe 4 stars or even 3.7. Considering how good it looks and how epic it is though, I feel like the score should go back up. In the end, I'll stick with 4 stars. These figures are definitely worth buying. They're really fun. You can play with them, especially if they're an addition to your collection rather than your only figures. By the way, which of them do you like the most? Which color is your favorite? Don't forget to hit that like button and drop a comment. On the left, you'll find a playlist with my other Hulkbuster and Iron Man sets, and on the right, YouTube has picked a video just for you based on your interests. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.